All right, Alison Jackson, thank you for joining us on thewaymagazine.it, and we are very pleased to have you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to me.
So, Alison, you're obviously in the news this month because you are the director extraordinaire of the anniversary video from Duran Duran, and everybody who's not familiar with your work just can see how amazing your work is and how great your ideas are. So, can you please tell us something about your work, your earlier work? Where does your fascination with celebrity culture start, and why are you like so stick to the British infatuation with celebrity culture?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for talking to me. It's very, great to be talking to you about my work. And it was fantastic to do the Duran Duran video. I've never done a music video before, so it was very, rock and roll and last minute and crazy and fun. And I think it sort of turned out to be, really, we shot the whole thing day and night. So it was no sleep and lots of hard work and lots of fun at the same time, mixing the real celebrities with the fake, which is what I like. And I suppose my work, the thinking behind my work is really about how we can't tell what's real or fake anymore. And actually, we don't really care whether it's real or fake anymore. We've accepted the fact that there's no way that we can tell. And so my work really is about how we can't tell what's real or fake. And I want to sort of burst that bubble, how we idolize celebrity, and yet we've no idea whether the stories that are put out, because of the medium that they're put out in, which is imagery, there's no idea whether they're real or fake. Because it's created by the celebrities themselves, the publicists, and the very nature of photography and video itself, that it creates a barrier. I can't get to you. I've no idea whether you're reading a script. I've no idea if that's just a set wall behind you. And yet I'm seduced into believing it's real because it looks real, but there's no way of me telling whether you're telling the truth or the set behind you isn't a set or staged or whatever it is. You've no idea with what's behind me, whether it's real or whether this is my real head or a real person, or indeed whether I'm a lookalike. So that's what fascinates me. So I create my work using lookalikes, doubles, anyone off the street that I can make look real. I'll take anyone on roaming around. Does that person look like that person? I'll run up to them in the street, put a wig on them, style them, and hope I can make them look like a celebrity. And I do it 24/7.
Alison, what excites me the most about your work is that you don't look for, lookalikes, exact, perfect lookalikes, but you look for personalities, in my opinion. And so that's what was fascinating about the Duran video, because you could actually see the way that we imagine those personalities and those individuals acting among themselves. And that was very fascinating. Is that correct?
Well, yes, I mean, it is completely fascinating, and we hear that celebrities are a bit like divas. And when all the nobodies, the lookalikes, become celebrities once they're transformed with their hairstyles and their wigs and their costumes, and then they have to put their characters on, they have to learn how to walk and talk, the celebrity, they too become divas. And it's just the most wonderful thing to see that quite ordinary people, now with the personality of the celebrity, becomes a diva. So we really had with the Duran Duran video 100 divas, wandering around the set, and it was fabulous. And people who don't know my work or haven't been on a set with me before can't cope. It's so chaotic because everyone's a diva. And for me, I know it's going to be chaos, and I enjoy it, and I just let it run, because it's just the behind the scenes videos and comments are priceless. It's absolutely gorgeous.
That's why I found it very interesting that you shot also the double take documentary, because you can actually see what's going on behind. And I could appreciate even more your ability to, style not even just scenes, but, like happenings during the shooting.
Yeah. Well, because I can't control it, and nobody can, because the lookalikes or the people I find that I style off the street, they're not actors. They're not used to just coming in, learning a script, sitting quietly, waiting for their call. They're kind of going, God, this is one, they're enjoying it, and they're enjoying the moment, the walk and talk of the real celebrity. And so it is a bit kind of crazy. And I have to work within that chaos, completely focused, ignoring all what's going on around me, to create these scenes that are in keeping with what the real celebrity might be up to or getting up to during, in this case, a party scene. So we had J-Lo on a swing with Kate Moss, and Kim Kardashian wobbling her bottom with Nick Rhodes. And, it's just, just absolutely brilliant. But it has to be very, very focused, because otherwise I can't get through it.
Alison, talking specifically about the video, I wanted to ask you why there are no featurings of, Duran Duran peers from the 80s. I mean, we don't see George Michael or Boy George or, or even Andy Warhol, for example. That was such a big part of their, career. Was that a conscious choice?
Well, that has to be part two, because, really we intended to have Andy Warhol, Freddie Mercury, everybody from the whole of their career. But we already had 100 people on set, with Now and the Future. So we really need, another 20, 30 people and all the styling for that. And we just could not fit it in the time. But so there has to be a part two to this.
Well, we're looking forward to that. One thing that really is stuck to my memory was the controversy that you caused with Lady D, like back in the day. I don't know if you want to go deep into that, but do you think, I mean, for people who are not, who don't remember that, or maybe it was not that big outside of England, I can't remember exactly, but you were, like one of the first who were going through that kind of taboo with your art, and you touched a holy cow.
Yeah, sacred.
Yeah.
But I think I was the only artist making work about Princess Diana. There were a few, because I did an exhibition afterwards with Tracy Emin and Toby Martin, a few other artists, but nobody was discussing the topic that I was discussing. Actually, we didn't know who Princess Diana was for real. Very few people had actually met her, and yet they felt that we knew Princess Diana intimately, even though we had never met her, and very few people had met her for real. My studio at the Royal College of Art overlooked Kensington Palace, where she lived. And the moment she died, there was a vigil of thousands and thousands of people mourning her death, sitting outside Kensington Gardens, the palace. At night time, they were still there, holding little candles and vigils, and so there were little sparkly lights. This went on for a whole year. Flowers, just sea of flowers. London came to a standstill. Traffic was shut down by the council, by the country. People were lining the motorway to throw flowers at her hearse as it drove by. It was the most extraordinary moment. And I was right there with my studio. Literally, my studio window overlooked the front of her apartments at Kensington Palace. So I had a bird's eye view, and I hadn't really spent that much time, interested in Princess Diana before her death. But to this day, I can remember exactly where I was, what I was doing when I heard the news that she was dead. And it's completely shocking. I just couldn't believe it. And, you know, how could someone like that get into my psyche so big time, and the psyche of the rest of the country, without us really knowing it, that we were like sponges soaking up all these media stories without actually being aware that we were soaking them up. And I suppose that's what really struck me, that this hysteria that Princess Diana was dead, they were mourning, or we were all mourning her death as if she was like a family member. It was absolutely devastating. We felt we were part of her life when actually we hadn't met her. And I thought, well, this has been created by the media. So I talked to a few editors at the time, and they said the word was out to make the world cry. And they made the world cry. And I think that's what I found so interesting, that Diana was a construct. She was the first blonde icon. She was constructed by the media, make the world cry, and they certainly did. I think the whole world was in mourning for this sacred icon. And I think there was very much a gender divide. I think women felt very sensitive towards Princess Diana and for Diana. I think men kept on calling her hysterical, or certainly the traditional men hysteric, you know, shut up, be quiet, she shouldn't have made a fuss with the royal family. But for women, they really supported her. And I think that's why she's kept in the news now, because Princess Diana hasn't really had her airing totally, because women are only just coming to the fore right now. And so that story is still relevant, you know, however many decades later, it's still very relevant. I think she's an icon for women. And I was particularly interested in her. She really struck a chord with me, and particularly how and why she died and the way she died, I felt was, and also how her death was handled by all the men in her life. And I find that very interesting and sad, actually. And it's definitely struck a chord. So I made work, a photograph of Diana, Dodie and their mixed race child, which was really depicting an image which existed in the public mind. So England, Britain at the time was a very prejudiced country. And so they were so pleased for Diana to have a love affair. But then suddenly the idea of her having a mixed race child was kind of like scary for everyone. The media were ramping it up. So she became very, very unpopular just before her death during this affair. And she was at a very low ebb of popularity. And then, of course, soon as she died, she was ramped up. Oh, sacred goddess, how sad that she's dead. Da, 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 da. So I was very interested in the media roller coaster. 1 minute she's popular when she does something right, the next minute, oh, terrible, boo, boo, she's going out with another nationality, and oh my God, the possibility of her having a mixed race child was abhorrent. And then she's dead, and oh, how sad, terribly sad. She's an icon. And so for me, that was fascinating, and that was created by the media.
Alison, going back to the Duran Duran episode, I mean, in your career, you know that the actual members of Duran in real life met Lady Di, and there was like a big fuss of that as well. Did you ever talk to members of the band about their real life encounters?
Well, yes, and I want to do more interviews with the band because, of course, they have met the icons that I've been so interested in throughout my career, particularly Lady Di, because she was at the center and the nugget of all my work and how I started this whole body of work. So I really want to do a set of interviews with the real band, talking to them about their views on Princess Diana. And I suspect they'll be quite similar to mine, but they will have a different perspective because they spent a lot of time with her for real. And they're also men talking to Princess Diana. So I would be very interested in doing those interviews. So, watch this next, because there might be some interviews on exactly that.
Yeah, that's very exciting to hear. So, Alison, do you think the prospect of being, you know, like a music video director is appealing to you, or are other members of other bands calling you after watching the video?
Oh
What
my
is
goodness.
happening?
Yeah, there's been masses and masses of inquiries from music companies, from drama companies, from all sorts of things, because it's like people haven't seen my video work or my television work for a long time. So I think that it's sort of brought that back to life. And COVID has been a very quiet moment, you know, for new things happening and new work. So it was a lovely moment post-COVID to come out and do new work. So yes, the phone has not stopped.
Alison, one last question. I wanted to hear from you if you think that, you know, after pandemic, the relationship between readers or general public and celebrities has changed again because of, you know, after all, we're all humans and we experienced this massive wave of mourning and worrying. And so I wanted to know if you feel that something has changed. It's very early stages, but probably you can tell.
Sorry, early stages of what in particular?
Of, you know, recovering. The world is just recovering now. So
what for COVID?
Yeah.
Well, I think everyone's really scared of COVID because nobody wants to be ill, but everyone feels fine and that they're back, you know, double backed and triple backed now. So everyone feels a bit safer. I think it's such a relief for people to be able to come out. And that's why I didn't know quite how the video would be received, because I thought, here we are creating an anniversary massive party that hopefully everyone would want to go to a party like that. And I thought, well, other people are not going to like it because they've been stuck at home and, you know, we're having a party and they're not, you know, type of thing. But I'm very pleased to say that everyone is actually relieved to see the idea that people can carry on lives as normal, go to parties. And I think it is a time now that people actually want to go out and resume normal life.
Okay. So I'm very happy to, yeah.
I mean, I think it was a real test, actually, because I really wasn't sure whether it was the timing was right. But I think the timing was actually perfect. I think people want to get out and resume life, whether it's getting out and working on Zoom or getting out, but just to see some form of life, because although everyone may not want to go out right now, they're certainly going to want to do that within 12, 24 months.
Thank you. Thank you, Alison. I'm so happy that we end this interview on a positive note. So that's what I was looking for.
No, I think it's very positive. And I think it's very positive to see what we've been through, nearly 2 years of COVID. And then suddenly this is a whole come out. And I think people are feeling braver now, and that we put the major understanding of COVID behind us and we're moving forward step by step.
Okay, thank you for joining us, Alison, and congratulations for your great work.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And it's great talking to you. And I hope you really enjoy, I love Italy. I hope you enjoy Naples and Milan. I wish I was there.
Thank you. Join us when you want.
By the way, I'm really looking for some lookalikes. So I know that Boris Johnson doesn't really come under, you know, what Italian people might look like, but it doesn't matter about the hair because I do the wig. I'm really looking for a Boris Johnson lookalike, and I'm looking for a Meghan Markle lookalike. So if any of your readers or viewers know anyone who looks like Meghan Markle or Boris Johnson, don't worry about the wig, don't worry about the hair, I've got the wig. Please, can you ask them to contact me? That's
great. So if anybody is interested in this, please send us drop us an email or forward to Alison. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.